Today I'm going to show you how to do an oil change on a Jeep Cherokee. This is a 2014 model. This is the smaller version, and this has got 3.2 litre V6 engine in it, and its older brother, which is this one here, has got the bigger V6 3.6 litre. And this is a Grand Cherokee. Now, they're pretty much the same, except one engine faces one way and the other engine faces northeast or southwest. Now, very simple. Underneath this cap, you have your oil filter. It's in that thing there. Now, just to make it easier, if you don't want to spill oil, or at least you can see, all you've got to do is just lift this cover up. It's on by just stuck on by a few rubbers, and there you have it. Okay, so you'll need a 24mm socket to undo that. There's a cartridge type filter, so I'll just be undoing that for you. Yep, so that's 24mm socket, and once you're undoing that, just make sure you don't spill any oil anywhere, and that's it there. I'm just going to tip this upside down so it just runs into it, and that's simple as just changing the O-ring there. You get it in the kit, and that O-ring there comes on the filter. I'll show you that in a second. Now, for underneath, for the drain pan, I'm pretty small, so I don't need to jack it up, but it's easy. You just need a 13mm socket, and the location is there. So it's a matter of just undoing that. I hope you can see that. Matter of undoing it and just draining it. And as far as fill up, I'm using the Magnatech Edge 540, or sorry, 530, and it takes 5.6 litres. Now, this is the oil I'll be using today. We're going to use that, but anything like the Shell Helix, make sure you get a 5 rating, accept a 5 rating instead of a 10. You can use a Magnatech, which is a Castrol type. I prefer this brand, and this oil, it's a full synthetic. So is the Shell Helix. That's a full synthetic as well, but we're going to use the Edge. Okay, so now here's the old filter and the new filter. It just pulls out of the housing. It's simple as just inserting the new filter just straight in, simple as that, and the new O-ring just simply pushes back down. Trying to work with one hand here. Okay, as simple as putting it back onto its spot there. You can see it down there. Now be sure to put a bit of fresh oil on that seal before you put it back in, and it's as simple as just inserting it back into the engine and tightening it up. Now there is a torque spec on the top of the filter. It is recommended that you do it to that torque spec so you don't break it. It's 25 Newton meters, but I'm sure if you've done a few before, you know what you're doing. Now we're back at the engine. I've pre-lubed the seal off screen, and as simple as just inserting it and tightening it up. And then as simple as just torquing it up. Now once that is done, I like to keep the cover off, so when I fill it up with oil, I can see that there's no leaks happening. Sometimes the seals, if you don't put them in properly, they will leak. So this is why I've left the cover off. Now with removing the sump plug, I recommend that you use a 6-sided socket, as some of the dealers, they use impact guns on sump bolts, and if you're using a normal socket, you will round it off. Now I've just undone the sump plug, just off screen again. Now I'm just going to simply drain it. So it's a matter of just screwing it up. Mind you, this was very, very tight. So just as a matter of just unscrew it till it gets to the end and just pull it back. Hopefully try not to make a mess. Okay, as I mentioned before, to use a 6-sided socket, as you can see, the nut has been nearly rounded off. This car has been serviced by the dealer only, and this is my first attempt at this car. Otherwise, as I said, the dealer has been working on this car. So it is good to have the right tools and don't over tighten things. Now back to the older brother. The oil filter is pretty much the same thing in this spot. It's just one's at the front and the other one's to the side. And if you would like, you could take the cover off also, which just lifts up. And same kind of thing. Just drain it as usual. Make sure you use proper tools. Now once you've put all the pieces back together, sump plug, make sure you clean the pan and make sure you don't over tighten things. It's as simple as just filling it up from your oil filler here and making sure that you put at least 5 litres in before you start it. This takes 5.6 litres, and checking the dipstick, and maybe even let it sit for another 5 minutes or so, and checking it before you take it for a drive. Anyway, thanks for watching, and be sure to see my other videos. Thanks.